Okay, good morning everyone. This is the Diana White Show live. We thank you so much for joining us today, and of course we welcome back our resident guest, Mr. Wellness himself, Dax Dunn. And it's a new year, so I hope he has some new wonderful things to tell you about Rad Wellness and to help guide you through your wellness through this year, because I don't care how much money you have, how wealthy you are, how great you think you're doing, how famous you are. If you have no good health, my goodness, life is miserable, and the money cannot actually make you well. Yeah, you can get the things that you need and the proper doctors and all those things, but it's your responsibility to keep that wellness going. So let us introduce our resident guest. Hey Dax, what's up? Happy New Year and all those good things.
Happy New Year to you and your audience.
Yes, and welcome to the program again.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell us what's new on the agenda at Rad Wellness. I want to hear, because I see you doing yoga, I see you posting different things on Facebook, so let me hear it. What's going on?
Well, you know, one of the things we want to do is really engage with our audience on a more, consistent basis. So this program is one of these opportunities to get out there and share with people, but more importantly, we want to hear from them. So we like Facebook as a place where there's an exchange. It's not just one person talking and everybody listening, but they can actually exchange. And I see you're doing quite a bit on Facebook, so
yes,
I strongly encourage that, you know.
Okay, well, I'm trying, okay, because I'm like, okay. All right, everybody's getting into the... Go ahead.
I give you a secret.
What's the secret?
We're all trying. I saw on Facebook's birthday is actually today. This is their 10 years.
Yeah, so why were they saying it yesterday? Because I was wondering myself.
Yeah, well, he's saying it's gonna be today, so in advance he's just sharing his perspective and saying he didn't think that it would have grown to what it has grown to, and we need to realize that we have allowed it to grow to what it has grown to, and just he is the CEO, but we are the audience, we are the members of this community for Facebook, and in the same way we have an opportunity to build our own ideas and groups and communities, and your community here is an amazing and awesome dynamic community, and if you can move them to Facebook so they can interact more, I think we can all see more value. So you know, this is important, and I applaud you, but I definitely think that Facebook is the next step. And as I said, the point I'm making about trying is that even Mark Zuckerberg is trying. He's trying to figure it out, to anticipate the needs of this business, but the whole internet online community is an emerging opportunity for everybody.
Okay, all right, that's great. All right, so let me hear, are there any new products on the market, you know, that you're introducing, or?
Well, you know, last year we were introducing the saffron and the garcinia. We also looked at the moringa. In fact, our newest product is our Aloe Cleanse, that we feel that the digestive system is the foundation of our immune system, of our overall health and wellness. And while Oxy is our star, it's a great colon cleanse, we feel that the Aloe Cleanse is soon becoming a better star, that it actually gives a different type of flush. So Oxy is great, it cleanses the colon. The Aloe Cleanse cleanses the entire intestinal system. A much deeper and complete cleanse, and definitely something that we're getting a lot of positive and good feedback from.
Okay, how do you feel about, you know, various doctors coming out and saying several things about health and cleanses, and people should stay away from cleanses and all that kind of stuff. How do you feel about that?
You know, it's a good question, and I'm glad you asked, because the cleansing, there is such a broad detox, and cleansing carries such a wide, different, ways in which people approach the subject. So, for the most part, when you say detox, a lot of people in certain communities feel you're talking about drugs or alcohol.
Right.
And when you talk about cleansing, a lot of times the doctor is referring to primarily a colon cleanse. So the idea that some type of colon cleanse has negative effects, usually the negative that they're referring to is that you're removing the healthy bacteria from the colon, and that's not a good thing. But at the same time, you need to realize that with programs like ours, and ours specifically, we're replacing and revitalizing the digestive system. So we're not just stopping at cleansing it out. We actually work with our clients to rebuild the healthy flora in the digestive system, to rebuild the bacteria that's necessary in order for people to stay healthy. So the idea not to cleanse is based on removing the healthy black bacteria. Our idea to cleanse is to remove the harmful bacteria, but also to replace the healthy bacteria.
Okay, it's a new year and we have probably a new audience and all of that. So tell us a little bit about the products that Rad Wellness carries and what exactly do they do for you when you're taking them?
So let me start with the approach. The approach to the whole process is that we believe digestive health is the key to in terms of managing the body's overall health.
Right.
It starts in the digestive system. So what we believe is happening to cause excessive overweight and obesity in our society, specifically in our communities, it's because of a dysfunction in the digestive system that occurs when we consume too much overly processed food. So processed foods with preservatives in it, and this could be fruits and vegetables as well. So while you may not be eating too much processed, or you may think you're not eating too much processed foods, a lot of the foods that we consume today are produced in a different way. Bread, for example, is definitely a different product than we know of bread 20 years ago. The bread today is made with a hybrid wheat that is very high in gluten, and in many cases causes a dysfunction in the digestive system. Now, the critics to this say, well, people who test negative for gluten allergies are still overweight. The test that they're doing is not comprehensive enough. They're not testing for just the body's natural ability to form a new mucus lining and trap these foods in the body. So our program simply, we don't need the science around it. We use practical results based on what people get on a daily basis. So I did this program myself. Vanya is from India. She realized that this is a very popular Indian process based on Ayurvedic medicine. We got the details, worked out our program, and for the last 4 years, we've efficiently and effectively helped thousands of people get amazing results by simply flushing out the digestive system, treating the body for parasites, and helping them to restore digestive health. We use a range of products, colloidal silver, raspberry ketones, Garcinia, saffron. We have a Candida cleanse that is very, very, we've seen more and more that Candida is absolutely necessary. Candida is a fungus that develops in the body, and that fungus, everybody has Candida. But over time, some people, especially those with a dysfunction in the digestive system, have excessive amounts of Candida, and that causes the entire body to be off balance and for the whole digestive system to pretty much shut down.
Okay, I've been talking to a lot of people about moringa in particular. One person I spoke with said that they took it and in a tea bag form, and they slept like a baby. I also note that I read some tea bag box. I read you cannot drink the tea unless you have food in your stomach.
I disagree with that.
Okay, that's on a box that I saw with tea bags. So I wondered about that. How would that work? Because if I'm not feeling like eating and I'm just feeling for a cup of tea, I have to go eat first to drink the tea. I was confused by that.
So one of the beauties of not coming to a business or an industry with all the preconceived notions. You know, for example, in my career as a mortgage broker, I came to it very open, learned the business, and believed everything that I was taught.
Right.
So when somebody would say something like mortgages are, fraud or the paper is just paper exchanging, you don't want to believe those things because that's something you're really attached to.
Right.
In this particular business, I am not attached to the supplement or the health food industry, and I have observed that what's happening is that there's a lot of caution because in the natural supplement market, if you make any claims to say you're curing or treating disease, you're going to get a lot of negative attention and in many cases even being locked up or prosecuted for practicing medicine without a license.
Right.
So what you find is that on these supplements, they're not giving good information about how these products effectively work. We are taking the opportunity to educate people so that they can take the responsibility themselves and use these products. So let's go back to moringa. Moringa is a tree, it's a plant. It grows everywhere, but primarily grows in Africa and a lot of Asian countries. It's in Hawaii, the Filipinos use it, and it's been around for donkey's years.
Yes, absolutely.
And what happens is that it's a highly nutritious plant. It has a lot of minerals and potassium and so all of the good healthy calcium, all of those things are present in it. So it's considered a superfood.
Yes. So, what does that mean anyway?
Just a food that's high in mineral content that is very, compared to other foods, it has a superior effectiveness, that it brings more healthy nutrition and minerals to the body than the average fruit or vegetable.
Okay, all right, continue. I like for you to explain because I find myself explaining these things to people when I talk about products. Even the other day when I think I texted you about it, that Steve Jobs' doctor is saying, no, you're wasting your time to take supplements, and no, you should not be detoxing, so.
Sure. Well, so when it talks about supplements, a lot of times they're talking about vitamins. What vitamins are is that they've stripped away all of the other, amino acids, all the other things that create a whole food, and they've made it into just isolating the vitamin C, the vitamin B, or any specific vitamin.
Right.
Because the study showed that particular vitamin had a certain benefit. So they feel, okay, let's just give you that vitamin, you'll get the same benefit. Over time, we have realized that no, we need to take the food in its whole form in order for it to be available. So now you ask, if you're drinking it out of a bottle, how could it be in its whole form? and what the difference is that they have stripped away the bulk, the fiber aspect of it, but the essence of the plant is still there. So when we have a Garcinia drops, the essence of the Garcinia is still there. The amino acid chain is still there. It hasn't been processed or broken down. It's just been extracted and leaving the fiber. But just like a good example would be juicing. Juicing,
because he said stay away from juicing also. He did say that.
Then I disagree with him, because then anybody who juices and have tried it can see the benefits in the body.
And I saw the benefits when my daughter was sick. I know. So when he said that, I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. Is everybody crazy? Because some people, yeah, I see the point where he's saying that if you're juicing, then you're having all that vegetable one time or all those fruits one time. But what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Okay, so thank you.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because I was totally confused. I'm serious.
And that's the point. The point is that the reason why it is such a important thing and why we're having this conversation now is because it's so confusing.
Yes, it is confusing.
We offer a simple, effective approach to the process. We're not saying you need to go study and become a doctor. We're not saying you need to, have all the things. We're saying this works. Now, here's what I find funny.
Right.
All of these doctors will tell you why these things don't work. But when you ask them what works, they go right back to the same old diet, eat less.
Well, he actually said movement, which I agree with, because people who are sedentary, who sit all the time, you really need to get up and move.
Sure.
So I can accept that, but I'm not a supplement taker. I don't take supplements. I did the detox program with Rad Wellness with your company, and I got great success from it. So when he said no detox, I'm going, okay, what did I do now to mess up myself? And I think people are just confused. Eat this, don't eat that. Eat this, don't eat that. I mean, I'm like, hello, what do you do?
Everybody is selling something, including me.
Yes.
I am selling wellness. I am selling the simple idea that your body can heal itself naturally. Let me help you to get the things out of the way that are interfering with the body's natural ability to heal itself. And then after that, you have to start taking responsibility, because I guarantee you, nobody has anything that's going to just fix the problem and then you can go and do whatever you want and the problem won't come back. But we're going to show you on a real personal experience why the problem occurred, explain it to you, show you the results, show you how your body has changed by you changing your habits, and then encourage you to maintain those habits. And you are a great example of somebody who's done the program, seen the results, and been able to maintain the results.
All right. I want to talk now about the BOL for a minute, because everybody's, I'm sure you must have seen they're promoting some product that Oprah is taking and this person is taking, and that's the reason they're so nice and slim. What does your product, which is a BOL, how does that work? How does it work for me? Because right now I think I need some. Because of the holidays.
Fair enough, and that's we're here to help, you know. So what the BOL does is a combination of 72 trace minerals that basically tell the body to start releasing abnormal body fat. I like to show people that fat is locked away in your body like this. The BOL is simply releasing the fat, and then with using water. You drink a lot of water and it flushes the healthy calories into the bloodstream and flushes the toxins out of the body and into it's in the urine. So our flush is coming through the bladder, and the weight is coming off because we're flushing out the lymphatic system and the toxins that have built up in it over time, and the BOL is triggering the release of those of the toxins in the lymphatic system and allowing it to flush out with the water.
Okay, all right. The products that complement what you do, like the ketones, why is it that they're saying the ketones by itself, but you combine it in your program? Yeah.
Well, and that's the key, that ketones in my humble opinion, ketones by itself do not work effectively for the majority of the people who take it. Let me tell you who ketones would work great for. The mom, the woman or man who is in great shape, eating healthy, and decides, you know what, I'm having some challenges with my appetite, I want to just try and keep it in check, I'm going to take some ketones. Great, they'll get great results, it will work for them. But the person who has 25, 30 pounds of excessive body fat, who clearly has a dysfunction in their digestive system, the ketones are going to produce maybe 5 or 6 days of a cessation in the appetite. But after about 8 to 10 days, little or no results, and you feel okay, disappointed again.
Okay, so that's when you plateau, basically.
Exactly.
All right.
And what we do is combine it, where we're cleaning out the digestive system and we're using the ketones to support the rebalancing of the body, and in that harmonious point. If you just took our products alone, you will not get the promised results. Our program works because there's a specific protocol. Okay. You're going to follow certain instructions, drinking more water, eating a specific way. Nothing is hard. It just means you have to change. The hardest part is that you have to accept there's a change. You need to do different things to get different results.
Okay, tell me about how yoga plays, because some people say that yogis is a cult. Some people connect the Indian religion to it. How does Dax see yoga, and how does it work for you?
All right, yoga is life. Yoga is a practice that has been around from the origin of man. A lot of people associate it with India, but in fact, I actually did yoga, and the yoga I did most of my yoga is based on an Egyptian Kemetic yoga that a gentleman discovered. So he's saying that the Egyptians practice yoga, and he's rediscovered a style of Egyptian yoga called Kemetic yoga.
Okay.
But in essence, yoga is simply about moving the breath, bringing air and oxygen into the body. That we believe that oxygen and air is life. So when a child is born and they leave the womb, the first thing they do is take their first breath. When we pass away and we die, the last thing we do is take our last breath. So the breath is bringing life into the body on a consistent basis. None of us can live for probably more than for a few minutes without breathing. We can survive without water for a few days. We can survive without food for even a few weeks. But the breath is essential for life, and that is what yoga is about. So yoga is a practice that brings attention to the body through the breath. That by focusing on the breath, we can become more aware of our bodies. It also allows us to calm the mind, to bring the mind more in balance with the body. And then we are able to really connect to our higher self. Our spiritual self becomes energized through the breathing techniques, through the awareness, and we are able to experience more peace, a greater sense of calmness in our lives. Now, beyond that, there is so much other things that yoga entails and incorporates in terms of the poses and the postures, in terms of the food and the way of eating, the way of living, the way of treating each other, interacting on a very peaceful level. And the idea of yoga being a cult, I think, is ridiculous.
But I'm sure you've heard it, right?
I have.
Oh, okay.
And is it possible that there are certain cults that use yoga principles? Absolutely. But yoga is not the cult. It may be a cult that uses yoga as a way to create this sense of peace and give people this identity of being calm and stuff. So maybe there's some association that way, but yoga itself is a very straightforward, upfront, healthy practice that I would encourage anybody, practice on your own. Find a practice that works for you, because there's such a variety of yoga ways that people engage in yoga.
Absolutely. All right. I wanna do this now. I went on and I found an article that says there are 7 foods nutritionists say they would never eat. Okay. refined and refortified grains, which includes pasta and rice and cereals and stuff like that, sugar, sweetened beverages, grits, rice cakes, which is a big diet thing for a lot of people. When they're on a diet, they tend to eat a lot of rice cakes, fat-free salad dressing. Okay, this is something I didn't know what it was, but maybe you do. It's called seitan, Seitan. It's from Asia, and it's in a lot of vegan products. And then, of course, the fish that's called shark. How do you feel about all of those?
Well, I agree with everything. I don't know what
really?
to say. And it's funny because I was in Trinidad a week and a half ago, and the shark is a very popular food down there.
Absolutely, because I was watching Bizarre Foods and they featured Trinidad, and there you go. I'm going, huh? Didn't they get the message?
So I agree with the list, and I would say the general reason why I agree is that a lot of the refined foods have been stripped away in terms of the real essential balanced food that's there. And by the way, I want to be very clear.
Yes.
While we use supplements to regain and restore the balance in the body, we are not about taking supplements on a daily basis. We recommend that products like Colloidal Silver is great to have in the house. If anytime you feel a sore throat coming on, it's a great tool to use. We feel that having something like a Aloe Cleanse every time you may not have gone to the bathroom and constipation is an issue, having it to use to support the digestive system makes sense. Now, you could have the aloe plant in its natural form. I think it's a good idea. I have an aloe plant in my house, just that for the convenience, to sit there, to peel it, to use it. Nothing wrong. It's a great product.
Yeah.
But if you can just take a couple tablets and get a similar result, then why not?
Yeah.
So for the convenience purposes, there are certain products that, you know, they're in a supplemented form that makes sense to use. But in general, I'm not about having this tonic that you have to drink every day religiously or you're going to die.
Okay, and I can't vouch for that Colloidal Silver because my daughter got sick last year with some kind of flu thing, and I called Dax and he sent me a bottle, and it's almost finished, by the way, shamefully so, and she got better much faster.
Yes.
Than I think, if we didn't have that. And we took no, Advil or nothing, just the silver.
Yeah.
Which is the first time I actually tried that. So, folks, go buy up some silver from Dax because it actually works, and it's flu season, by the way. I forgot that. Yes, it's flu season, so everyone is getting sick. So maybe you need to get yourself some silver.
Silver is a well-established natural antibiotic. Before there was a pharmaceutical industry, silver. That's why we say silver goblets, silver bullet. Right. Silver lining. That silver is reported to kill 690 pathogens, whereas the best antibiotic can kill only 9. Okay. So silver is a very, very effective product. It's all natural. There are few people who will ask and say, they heard some negative stuff about silver. There's this claim that you turn blue if you... It's true. It's true if you're drinking large particles of silver, but in terms of the colloidal silver products, there is nothing that it can do to hurt you. Obviously, don't drink too much of it, because everything in abundance has its negative. Even water. If you drink too much water, it can certainly make you sick.
Yes.
A few drops of colloidal silver, once or twice a week is great to support your immune balance and help maintain wellness in the body.
All right. Before you go, I want to bring something to your attention, and I talked about it this week already on the show, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Having more sex will actually help your body, make you look and feel younger. Okay, seriously. Boost your immune system, reduce stress, make you sleep better. I understand that one because I thought the guys are the ones who fall asleep after they done do their thing and they have their orgasm. They're like, ah. And then also it protects your body against cancer and cardiovascular health it gives you. Okay, that's your last throw before you go.
I'm living proof of it.
Okay, all right. You're living proof of it?
More importantly,
yes.
on a very metaphysical level, yes. I believe that men and women have a very important dynamic. Mm-hmm. And that we unfortunately get caught up in our own perspective. So, I know how I am, mm-hmm. and through those eyes, I'm trying to understand women.
Right.
And likewise, women know how they are, mm-hmm. and through those eyes, they want to understand men. Mm-hmm. And if we are just able to stop for a second and realize that we're very different, and that we cannot understand ourselves through our differences, we must instead accept the differences and appreciate the person. So I cannot think like a woman. I need to stop trying to understand her as a man, but to just change my perspective to say, okay, what are the fundamental things that that women naturally do, that they naturally engage in, and it really helps to maintain that balance. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't make it any easier. We still have our differences and our challenges, but at the same time, I think that the opportunity to build a much more balanced relationship occurs, mm-hmm. and it leads to more sex.
Okay, on that note, we say thank you so much to Dax Dunn, our special wellness guru, who joins us on a Wednesday right here on the Diana Wright Show. All right.
Huh? You are having a lot of sex.
Oh, me? No. Me having a lot of sex? I don't know about that. I don't know about that because when you think about, what's his name? That politician who spoke last week and talked about your libido. Well, I don't know. I don't know many women who have raging libidos. I really don't, including myself.
And I'm saying, fake it before you make it.
Okay, so I'm gonna, but do you have any product to increase your libido? Because they do say that after you have children and you get older, your libido kind of goes down.
Well, a lot of women say that after the detox, the libido goes up. So.
Okay, so the detox is the answer to your libido increasing. All right. Okay.
I'm started again for the new year. Lloyd, I'm gonna set up.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day. Take care, Dax. All right, that was my special guest, Dax Dunn, and this is the Diana Wright Show Live. We do have a lot of fun on a Wednesday when Dax is here, and we thank him so much for joining us because it is indeed a good thing to have sex, yes. But, we don't want to get into the blame game of women raging libidos, so that's the reason they're getting pregnant and they need to get contraceptive and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're going to take a break right now and come back in just a moment. This is the Diana Wright Show Live, and we thank you so much for joining us today. It is a great day to be alive, don't you think? Thank God for waking me up this morning. How about you? We'll be back in just a moment. Wherever you are around the world and in the United States, please join the conversation. Give me a call at 561-228-1921. We discuss issues around the world that includes love, sex, and life in general. So join me Monday through Friday, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Hello everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how poor you are. But there has to be a point in your life, and you will come to that point, where you have to take someone you love to the hospital. But have you ever considered that you could take that loved one, in my case, my only child, to the hospital in a normal state, and then you leave 5 months later, brain damaged, in a wheelchair, without your senses? This is my true story, Deadly Negligence, the book, available on Amazon and at my website, dianawhitetv.webs.com. I'm asking you today to get a copy. Support my story. Let us get this out there, because this story will captivate you. It will shock you. It will give you hope. It will increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. Thank you for picking up your copy today. And just in case you know Oprah Winfrey or Tyler Perry or Mr. Levinson, let them know this is worth a movie. Thank you. Get your copy today. Okay, we're back and you're watching the Diana Wright Show live. We welcome you from around the world and in the United States, and thank you so much for joining us today. Today was the day that we had our wellness person with us, our wellness guru, Mr. Dax Dunn himself from Rad Wellness. And of course, well, this is my bottle, so I'm just going to read the number from here. The number is 866-786-3617. That's 866-786-3617. Lots of sevens. And of course, it's Rad Wellness Center. Give them a call today and see how they can help you detox. And of course, not just detox, but you get to lose that weight and, you know, get your body back in line, and you feel good and more confident and everything. There's nothing better than when you put your clothes on and it fits you perfectly and you're feeling alive and well. Women, you do know that. Young women, you do know that. So we hope that you will check them out and give them a call. All right. Other things on the agenda today. We are I am in congratulations, endless congratulations for CVS, because CVS has decided that they will no longer sell tobacco products, cigarettes. I am so proud of them, because money is not always a thing. We just talked about wellness. What is it if you have great wealth and your health is in the toilet? How about that? If you're sick and you're wealthy, that money means nothing. So in getting into the wellness theme at CVS, they've decided that even though they're going to lose $2 billion a year from this particular sale of this product, they have chosen to choose health. Because they're already encouraging you to be healthy. So how can they be encouraging you to be healthy and then they're selling something that they say will make you have problems later on in life? Lung cancer comes to mind. So we must congratulate CVS today. And also, wouldn't you like to be a farmer? Absolutely, I want to be a farmer. Farming is going to be my next profession, because this is the only investment that you have or that you make that comes without risk, because the government of the United States secures your investment. Isn't that the reason why we hear so many Congress people and people in government who are associated with farms getting free money for just being a farmer? So how many of us want to go farm as of now? You know, a lot of people look down on farming in some of the, you know, the other countries and the other islands. They just figure that, you know, farming is not cool and farming is not the thing. But farming is indeed a very, very, very important. And if you're in the US, oh, absolutely, you are subsidized by the government. So why shouldn't you be doing it? Yes. So I thought that would be very interesting. Also interesting for me today is that there's an ad campaign by the Republican Party to honor blacks during Black History Month. But this is a way for them to try to get blacks into the Republican Party. So are we supposed to believe that they're going to change their message and all of a sudden their hearts are changed? They no longer hate other people who don't look like them? Are we supposed to believe that? Is this another Glenn Beck apology? Or around the circle way to get blacks to be Republicans? I'm not quite sure. I just don't get it. I just don't know. And I would like to know. So if the Republicans are trying to, according to some black Republicans, they're putting money into this now because they're running an ad campaign. And are we supposed to watch those ads and say, okay, now I'm going to be a Republican because I just forget that they only accept 47% of us. And I also only forget that maybe they really don't like me because I'm a single parent, or they don't like me because I am dependent on the government, or maybe they don't like me because I'm black or I'm Hispanic or I'm an immigrant. Should we forget all of that and just watch the ad campaign? Wow, that's asking a lot, don't you think? Truly asking a lot. So I just want you to give that some thought today. And if everyone, okay, I'm truly confused by the whole Governor Christie Bridgegate saga. Because if everyone who knows what went on was part of what went on, they're all pleading the fifth and refusing to turn over their documents, how are we going to know what went on? How are we going to know what happened? How will we know what happened? Could somebody let me know? And the names that are thrown around, Mr. Wildstein, Bridget Kelly, Mr. Stepien, Mr. Baroni, Patrick Foy, you know, you're Miss Renna. She's the latest one to resign. We don't know if she's going to plead the fifth yet. But how many people are going to plead? Is anyone going to talk? Is anyone going to let us know the truth? The first press conference that Governor Christie had, he said none of his staff knew anything about the lane closings on the George Washington Bridge. But then there were emails that showed that his staff, starting with Bridget Kelly, time for some traffic problems in Fort Lee. Mr. Wildstein responds, got it. Then Miss Renna, and there's another name that's coming up now called Evan, who obviously was told not to take calls from the mayor of Fort Lee. But he accidentally took the call because Mr. Mayor of Fort Lee actually called on another phone that he didn't recognize the number. So he took the call and then he apologized for taking the call. So doesn't this seem like a plan? And never ever insult the people that you claim to have been so wonderful and belittle them at a press conference and send out crazy emails and what kind of sloppy PR program is that? You're going to talk about Mr. Wildstein high school days? Well, first of all, in the press conference, Governor Christie said he wasn't my friend. But then I remember them saying he was such a wonderful, great employee of the Port Authority. So overnight, we are reminded of his high school days. But what I want to know is when the Romney people were vetting Chris Christie to be the vice presidential candidate in the Republican Party in 2012, and his people who were doing the vetting came back and said, we're asking questions, but we're not getting answers. And when you're not getting answers, more than likely, the answer is not good. And Governor Romney at the time said, drop him. So are we going to find out what they found out, why they decided that the answers would not be good based on the questions they were asking? And is it the role of a governor to decide with his people, because maybe he will tell you it wasn't his decision to run the ad campaign with him and his family that cost almost twice what the other campaign would have cost? Are we this is becoming like a web of lies that keeps covering up. And you know what they say about when you lie and you have to cover up that lie? That's the reason I truly ask people, do not lie. Speak the truth, confess your sins, and move on. If the sin is going to make you have to resign as governor or as the head of the Republican Governors Association, let it be so. But do not project yourself to be so truthful. And then, my golly, the web just starts going around and around and around. And you know what cobweb is. It strangles you eventually if you get into it. So I'm begging and pleading to each and every one of you listening to my voice today, speak your truth. Be honest to those around you. If you have a friend and they're doing something bad, don't shame them in public. Go behind the scenes and say, I don't like what you did, but I support you anyway, because you are my friend. Everyone needs to be told the truth. And the truth hurts sometimes. And we must accept the truth and speak our truth. Whatever you're doing, whatever it is that you're involved with, lying takes you on a bad journey. And it never ends well. So we just have to wait and see. My prediction is that we're going to see some resignations again. And, you know, people have to resign from their post from the top down. Because this is going to go on for months. It's going to drip, drip, drip. And every time Governor Christie gives an interview, whether it's television or radio, his dates change. Things change. Moderate instead of severe, maybe. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I think most of us are confused. I gather the man that was flying to him to Jersey in 2012 to ask him to run for president no longer want to take that flight on his private jet. And the people in Iowa? No. Everyone is wondering. So even if miraculously Governor Christie did not know, did not execute, was not involved in the planning and the execution of the bridge closing, what does that say about his management style? That his staff would do something so reprehensible and think it's okay. And no one is addressing the fact that the residents of New Jersey on 9/11, no doubt, when people are on edge already on 9/11, worrying if something else is going to happen, they're now going to be trapped on the George Washington Bridge, can't get to New York or can't get into New Jersey. And be careful what you say on video, because the tape they played again to remind us that Governor Christie did say that he doesn't understand why he's kind of sauced that Fort Lee should have exclusive lanes for that town. The video will get you. The photographs will get you. You can't be with Mr. Wildstein during the lane closure in a photo and say you haven't spoken to him in months and months and months. You just can't do that. We are haunted by the video, by our voice on the tape. So what you say is truly what you're supposed to mean to say. And if you say something that you don't think you should have said, just apologize immediately, so your audience will know that you're sorry. And when we keep seeing over and over the concept of Governor Christie being a bully, when he talked so bad to that woman who simply asked, why is it that you're doing to our public schools what you're doing when your children are going to private schools? And he turned on her. Remember when he took the helicopter and went to his son's baseball game, and he then, in his ticked-off attitude, paid back the expenses? Remember the teacher that he pointed his finger in her face? Remember the reporter that he scolded in public? So as we see those images again and again and again, do we think Governor Christie governs by bullying others, throws his weight around, no pun intended, and crushes those who don't agree with him? As we hear more and more pieces of this puzzle, it's incredible that politicians actually do what they do. We see the politician from New York, the congressman from New York, threatening to wring the neck of a reporter and throw him over the balcony and kill him. How do we allow ourselves to vote for these people? And why is it that so many people in so many states keep voting for these guys and sending them to Washington to go and vote against their needs and their wants? Why do we do that? We're voting against ourselves. So politicians can go buy cocaine like the congressman in Florida and seemingly get away with it. But yet he wants people collecting benefits like food stamps to take a drug test before they get the benefits. So shouldn't he have been tested before he collects his paycheck from Congress? We live in a society of confusion. People say things that they truly don't mean. And as we look to the interview that was given by President Obama to Fox News by Mr. O'Reilly, I simply wonder, did Mr. O'Reilly come to fight the president, or did he come to interview the president? There's a difference if you are indeed a journalist. If you're interviewing someone, you're not there to battle with the person and degrade them and hunt them down. You're there to ask questions and get answers. And when the person is actually answering you, you're supposed to be listening to what that person is saying, so you don't have to necessarily go to your paper to ask the next question you have written down, but you're listening, so maybe what he says, you can ask a question based on the answer he just gave. That's the way you interview people. And then there is Mr. Donald Trump, the Donald, who's going to scold the president to wear a tie because Bill had a tie on. Who on earth is Bill O'Reilly that the president should wear a tie because he was wearing one? It was Super Bowl Sunday. I'm surprised the president even had a jacket on. I would have expected him to have on a casual top with the logo of the seal of the United States on it. Donald Trump, the same Donald Trump who is in the tie business, who curses China every chance he gets. But where are his ties manufactured? In China. And you see my t-shirt that I'm wearing. Let me just get this graphic off of here so I can let you see it totally. This is my I Love Me t-shirt. And you're reminded that I Love Me Day, International I Love Me Day, is April 30th, 2014. I insisted that my shirts were made in America. I could have gotten them made in China also. But I decided that I wanted to go with made in America. Yes, it might cost a little much more actually. Because if I got it made in China, I could have sold it for much less. But I decided consciously that I would have my t-shirts made in America. And they are indeed made in America. Made in the USA, and I'm proud of that. Because I remember the days when everything was made in America. But now everything is made in China. So should we be listening to Donald Trump giving fashion advice about ties? Or he was just trying to promote his ties? Wow. I'm hearing something that smart beds are coming. So you now have a smartphone, but soon you're going to have a smart bed to make you sleep better. I actually forgot to ask Dax about that. Well now, and if you are single with no significant other, I wonder who's going to be your Valentine, because you see that's the next commercial thing that's going on. I want you to give me your answers on Facebook. What are you going to do if you are single and you have no significant other? What do you do on Valentine's Day? Just hit me on Facebook and let me know about that. Yeah, hit me up on Facebook. And when you're searching for my show, please, it's The Diana Wright Show. And it's dianawrighttv.webs.com. That's my website address. And when you go on, obviously if you're not watching me live at that particular time, just click on the videos and you will see the show that's done for that day. And also, we're going to post some of the shows on Facebook. Not all of them, but we'll post them on Facebook when we do. So I simply want to ask you today, is there anyone out there who have listened and watched all the things that are coming out about Governor Christie, and you don't believe that he actually knows anything? He wasn't involved in the planning. He didn't know when it was going on. I don't know where he lived, because I think everybody knew it was on the news all over the place. When did he know it? The dates keep changing. It's so important for us to keep that in mind. Don't forget to get yourself a copy of Deadly Negligence, my new book. I would certainly appreciate it. You can purchase it on my website, and then you can also go to Amazon. You can download it on your Kindle. We'll take a break and come back in just a moment. This is the Diana White Show Live, and thank you so much for joining us from around the world and in the United States. We'll be back in just a moment. Hello everyone. I am just asking you from around the world and in the United States to partner with the Diana White Show, sponsor the Diana White Show, or advertise on the Diana White Show. To do so, please call 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Please sponsor, partner with us, and advertise with us to make the show a big hit, just like you do by liking us on Facebook and following me on Twitter. Thank you so much. Don't forget the number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Also, we invite you to invite me to be at your event as a speaker and to tell you about my new book, Deadly Negligence. And so we encourage you to partner with us right here on the Diana White Show. Advertise with us and sponsor the Diana White Show. 561-228-1921. Thank you so much. Okay, we're back, and this is the Diana White Show Live. We thank you for joining us. And before we go, we just want to remind you that April 30th is International I Love Me Day. What are you going to be doing on that day? Yeah, forget about Valentine's if you don't have a Valentine. That's not important. What is truly important is loving who you are, just the way God made you. And I want to do a shout out to Allison in Maryland, who has a great bakery, Vion's Bakery. It's spelled a little funny, but she's on Facebook, so you can check her out. She has some sweet things on that menu. I wish I was in Maryland so I could run over and get especially the cheesecake. So a shout out to her, a shout out to those of you who are watching in China like Monique, and of course those of you from Africa and various places that I'm getting feedback from. We thank you so much for joining us, and we will post this show today so that on Facebook, so you can actually watch it, just in case you can't, go to my website, or you can't watch it anyplace else, because I know in certain places of parts of the world it's a little difficult, but it's easier to get it on Facebook. So we'll try our best to post it on there as often as we can. Don't forget to take good care of yourself, and if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. Take care of you before you think of taking care of others. Love yourself first, and the love you're looking for will come to you. Have a blessed day. Ciao.